Hello. So this will be the second segment of the talk show I had with Jimmy. And like I said, the connection was very poor, and then I thought, I wanted to share what I was talking about yesterday on Facebook or social media live. This part of the video we're talking about essentially connecting to how young people can be participating in strengthening and consolidating democracy in the Gambia. We will be talking about some of the good principles or qualities of success. As they always say, success is not a straight line, and that how can we young people embrace failure sometimes and understand that what we go through today is not just a story that is unique to you as a person, but there are other people who went through similar experiences in life. So just to give a little bit of background about myself, for those of you who might not know where I come from and how and what my experience has been. I am not going to give you everything about me, but I'm just going to make some few recollections here and there based on my journey to the destination where I am and what I look forward to in the future. So I hope you have a couple of minutes to listen to, especially the last part of the video will be very inspiring, perhaps to myself and to a few individuals out there. So my name is NFamara K Dampha. I am from Genieri. Genieri is a small, beautiful, very beautiful. I'm telling you, no doubt. Go there. We have museums. We have a very beautiful ecosystem in the community. So no doubt about my village. I encourage you to visit. We have a community museum in Genieri that you would like to know the history of the village. It's one of the oldest villages in the Gambia. Sorry, I'm not here to market Genieri, but I love Genieri. Anyway, so my mom and dad are Karafa Dampha, and that's my dad. My mom is Fatu Sanya. I grew up in Genieri, and then I went to primary school, lower basic school at Kayaf, and attended Tahiri Hamadiya Muslim Senior Secondary School. I completed that. Went to the University of The Gambia, studied development studies and psychology, and kind of was lucky to be part of the Mandela Washington Fellows. And then I also worked with the ministry, started with the Personal Management Office, and I worked with the Ministry of Fisheries, Water Resources, and I was appointed Director of Administration at the National Disaster Management Agency. And then I came to the United States to study. I did my master's here in international development practice. I minored in science, technology, and environmental policy. And I also earned a certificate in nonprofit management. And now I am a Ph.D. student studying climate change economics and policy, generally anyway around climate change adaptation, especially my topic of interest is actually how Banjul, how we can build a better capital city, and how we can mitigate the impacts of climate change from inundating Banjul in the soonest possible time. So I don't intend to have a very long video for this, but basically, like I said, the story to success. I'm not still a successful person as I wanted to be, but I'm in the journey to get to the destination where I wanted to be. So I have a goal. I have a dream, and I am following the steps that are getting me there. It's not always, an easy ride. There are days that it will be hard, days that it will be very easy for you. So even if you come from the most wealthiest or the most richest family in the Gambia or around the world, life is not always easy. So I wanted to say that first of all, and I'm just gonna give you a recollection of my story, and then I will get to the principles or the things that I uphold to as a person, trying to build my career and my educational path. So I would say that growing up from a village, we had challenges, those days, and I'm proud to be a village boy. I'm proud that I'm from a village, and I think that I earned triple experiences from a village because I have the village experience. Maybe if you're not from the village, you don't know that. I have the city experience, living in the city for a while in the Combos. I also have an experience in this country, an international experience. So it's a triple experience. It is different from somebody who is from this country. So it is just one experience, or perhaps someone from one area of the region. So it is good that you're from this area. I mean, you're from a village. Then when people talk about village, you can know exactly what they're talking about. Sometimes I read the literature and I see what they're talking about villages in the developing world. I laugh and I smile because I know some of the things that the literature is just trying to portray. I can see the picture and I understand those things better. So, but the struggle, the path to education is not a straight line, like any path to success. And as young people, today we complain when there is no electricity in the village. I mean, in the cities, we say, well, there's no electricity, so I can't do my assignment. No, I think we have alternative means. I'm just saying this because I remember as a primary school student, I remember a day when I had to, because the shop nearby my house was closed. I remember putting together candle wax and putting a piece of charcoal just to have some light in order to complete my last part of my assignment. So this is an unusual day for me. It's not usually what I do, but this was a day that I had that experience. So just to say that, go the extra mile just to make sure that you complete that assignment that is due and you submit it on time. I also recall my dad specifically making a very strong statement and said, Famara, I will not sacrifice your school expenses for anything, even if that means not buying a bag of rice. So in essence, what he's trying to portray there is to signify and symbolize the importance of education, that he holds my education as a priority, and that it doesn't mean that he's not going to buy a bag of rice. I don't think that is what he's trying to state. What he's trying to say is that it is a priority for him, and I should understand that it is his priority, and I need to know that I have all the support that I needed, moral, financial support to fulfill my educational dreams. He will always tell us that, you are not educating yourself for me, it is for yourself. And I thank him for doing that for giving that very strong statement. I can still recollect that in my life. I recall also my mother, her family, village is just beautiful. Living in a village is not easy, honestly. If you're from a village, I'm telling you, living in a village is not easy. Village life is the best life, best experience that you can ever have. For the city boys, sometimes they don't understand. They think that we're not happy. Villages are, in fact, studies have shown that people living in those kind of conditions have the least. The reason I said those kind of conditions because usually in terms of the way we measure development or prosperity, economic indicators that we use, income level and all that, people at the lower ladder of income usually have the lowest suicide rate. So because we are happy in those villages, I'm telling you, we are very happy. Without all the necessities and the things that we are lacking, we are one of the most happiest people. So I'm proud to be from a village. And if you don't experience village life, as a city boy, I'll tell you, just try and go to one of the villages and spend some time. If you start going to a village, you may not even stop going because you will go all the time. So, but I recall leaving my family and my mom. I remember my mom crying, shedding tears because, I packed my bag, leaving the beautiful village, going to seek for knowledge. It's only, going for things like that that can separate you from your family, because family is so beautiful. And I remember, she withdrew all her money and gave it to me to buy me school needs and school books and stuff like that. I also remember walking under the sun almost for an hour on daily basis from the downtown of Jarasoma to the mountaintop of Mansa Kongo, where Tahir is located. Those were struggle days. Those were days that we were not even thinking it was a struggle because we were motivated to do so. But today, when you recollect, you think about those moments in life, you really understand that it wasn't an easy ride. But because the motivation and the destination that you are trying to get to, you know your direction. You have a sense of direction, so you don't even realize that at the time. This was when I was in grade 10 and grade 11. I was lucky to get a bicycle, and I was grateful that my dad got me one. But I also recall studying for 6 months prior to our WAS exam, in Tahir, sleeping in classrooms with my colleagues, Lamin W. Sani, I'll name you here, Mabin Tufati and Aliu Sise and others. We were doing these things because we had a goal. We were in a struggle, struggle to change our life. Struggle to earn a better education. We were very persistent. We were working very hard. We had the determination. We had the energy. We had the vigor to do this continuously without even realizing that it was hard at the time. Today, when you tell somebody, it might be, it wasn't easy. Maybe my kids will not even want to hear the story, or they would say, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't sleep in the classroom. But we did that. And it was a struggle that we understood, that it will pay off. And it is indeed paying off. I also recall a team of university students meeting a team of university students at Tahir, coming from the campus to sensitize us about university education. They were telling us the admission requirement to get entrance into the University of The Gambia, the specific subjects that we need to pay attention to. So we understood that was the day we even know the courses and the programs that the University of The Gambia has. So this was a day I will not forget. And the reason I'm sharing it with all of you, especially you, the recent graduates, and those currently going to the University of The Gambia, try to organize yourself, go around the country and try to sensitize the younger generation about the importance of the university. Some of them may not even know that university exists. Now social media, Facebook, everybody knows about university, but then it is still important for them to know the admission requirements, for them to know the programs the university has, and for them to know that they can earn a very accredited degree in the Gambia. So, because the University of the Gambia is really a very credible institution. Around the world, the University of the Gambia students are in almost one of the finest and the top universities around the world. So, no question about it, about the credibility of the institution. I recall also receiving a telephone call from the principal of Tahir telling me that I earned the best grade 12 result at Tahir in 2007. So among all the graduating class, I came up top, and I was very humble and I was very happy to be informed about that. So I knew that my struggle at Tahir, the reason I'm just going to share my struggle at a very basic level, because my listeners, the people listening to me, especially the young folks from the village areas, I just want you to understand that, these days can be hard, but once you know what you want, you will just keep on moving, So it wasn't just in the villages. When I came to the city, I had some challenges. Getting admission into the University of the Gambia was a very was one of the happiest days of my life again, knowing that I am getting to another level of education. But I recall there was no funding. I recall my dad withdrew all his pension benefits from Social Security to pay for my first year at the University of the Gambia. The words of my dad, I recall he said, "Famara, this is all I have saved my entire life. I'm investing it on your university education with the aim of reaping returns in the future, not just for me, but also for the entire family." So this gives me that moral responsibility to play as a young person that what could have been used to feed the family was used on my education, was invested in my education. So it is also a responsibility that I should play to support my brothers and sisters and my family members, and and motivate other Gambian youth around the country. The days in our days at the university, scholarship was hard to get. I recall Sola Mahoney Sanyang reading my 2-page letter when I titled requesting for scholarship. When he finished reading these 2 pages, he's like, Famara, this is a formal letter. That's a long letter. And I said, Sola, I understand what a formal letter is. I know it should be like, very short paragraph. But I want to tell my story. I want these people to understand that I really need funding to complete my university education because, so and so reason, but that doesn't stop me from trying. And I go around the country, almost every major institution that provide funding for university students. I had my letter at the time. But I recall a day when I received a call from Professor Per Gomez asking me if I have a GPA of 3.0. And I replied to Dr. Gomez that I had 3.7. Then doctor told me that I will be awarded a 4-year scholarship from the Taiwanese government funding. So, this was the happiest day of my life at the University of The Gambia. And of course, I was given this funding because also based on merit, because the question doctor asked was my GPA, my performance. So I will encourage you from a very humble and remote village in the country, just understand that opportunities are there, and the opportunity will be given sometimes on the basis of merit. Sometimes, there are politics here and there, but just do your best and keep on moving. And one day you will get the smile on your face because people understand, people around you, institutions around will understand that you are a hardworking person and then you deserve to be supported. I recall, our days at the UTG also waiting for almost an hour or for hours at the famous Dabo Printing and Photocopying Center. Myself and my colleagues waiting to have our assignments, our lecture notes, and our handouts printed or copied to get ready for class. So this facility was like one of the only facilities at the university where all of us gather to wait and print our books and our handouts, our assignments, and our lecture notes and stuff like that. So these were days that were, I'm sure it is better off today. And then even if it is the same, I just want you going through that moment to understand that it's not just your experience. A lot of us, many people went through the same experience. What I'm sharing here is not something just unique to me, but perhaps it's a story that we university students who went through the university in the manner and the way which went, it was a fine university. It has very good lecturers. We all know the credibility and of the university is good. That's why we are all looking forward to having a university degree. But it is not without to say that, there were no challenges when we were doing these things. But with all the challenges, I also recall organizing seminars and symposiums and debates here and there with the SOSA team, trying to challenge each other intellectually, discuss issues that are pertinent to national development, bringing guest speakers, the likes of Halifa Sallah and others, to come and share their experience and talk about politics and economy and other instruments and elements that we need to understand as university students. I also recall going under my leadership, embarking on a regional tour to LRR to, again, sensitize the same Tahir students and neighborhood students to and sensitize them about university education and why they need to be serious and they need to pay attention. And that coming from the village doesn't mean that you cannot get a university degree. That coming from one of the smallest villages in the Gambia doesn't mean that you cannot get a master's degree. It doesn't mean that you cannot be a doctor. In fact, we have seen history has shown us, testify to the fact that these are people who can even be presidents. All our former presidents are from villages. So we just need to understand that. Of course, we're seeing these things. They are everyday things that we see, but we just need to remind ourselves. So that is not exactly what I want to continue talking about, but quickly I want to talk about the rules, the principle, the basic qualities of success. And these are things that I will share and things that I have paid a lot of attention to, because I am somebody that when I want to be like somebody else, because there are people that we need to look up to as young people. First of all, to start with, let me say that every young person should have a mentor. You have a mentor, have a hero, whether you call it a coach or whether you call it an advisor, but have somebody that you talk to, somebody who inspires you. Don't tell me that you don't know anybody who inspires you. There are a lot of people out there. If you're interested in sports, there might be a footballer who inspires you. Read about them, understand, what did it take for them to be at the level where they are. So number one rule is that have a mentor. Number two is that believe in yourself, have a sense of direction. Whatever you do, just try to do it well and do it without wasting time. Let us avoid procrastinating. And number three, identify your personal strengths, your gifts, your capabilities. We all have weaknesses, but focus more on your strength. And number four, embrace your failure and be optimistic about life. I will talk more about these things, each of these points. So having a mentor, like I said, I have a lot of mentors and I have heroes that I look up to. You don't have to have a mentor that you live with. You can have a hero that you have never seen, someone who has already passed away, but they left a legacy. They perhaps had, they wrote books that are still there for you to read. Everything is now accessible in the internet, so you can access a lot of things about people that inspired you. So the things that I'm going to say again will relate to some of the things I learned personally from these heroes and mentors of mine. So my heroes remind me to use my time wisely. For instance, Nelson Mandela reminded all of us, we all know this, but he reminded us that, we have a very limited time on planet Earth. Today, Nelson himself is not alive, but he reminded us to use our time effectively, efficiently, that the time is limited. And Steve Jobs, who was an entrepreneur, also reminded us to avoid living a limited life. What is a limited life? A life where you think, I don't have opportunities, I don't have this, I don't have that. Let us minimize the complaints and create the opportunity, create our own products. Let us try to be curious, have that sense of curiosity to be innovative and design new things. Make the system better if you think it is not going well. I'm told by my heroes and my mentors that I should dream big and that I should create my own opportunities. For instance, President Obama is one of my heroes. He told us to design our own life strategies because having a goal is not enough. Having a dream is not enough. It's just wishful thinking. You need a strategy. You need a strategy to be able to achieve those goals. Obama also inspired us to do what? To take risk and learn from others. Learn from our failures and continue, in his own words, continue pressing on. And there is no excuse, Obama said. There is no excuse for not trying something. Well, today in the Gambia, we all know there are, we all understand that, employment rate is very low. Government needs to double up, but let us just try. The little things that we do matters. I'm also told to have targets and boundaries, to be the architect of my own destiny. In the words of Halifa Saleh, we all know his common statement that know yourself, know your country, and you shall be the architect of your own destiny. You shall be the architect of your own destiny. And in order to become the designer of your own destiny, you need to know yourself. Knowing yourself requires you to know exactly what you want, not what other people wish for you to be. For instance, if you want to be a comedian, you want to be a footballer, and your dad wants you to be a medical doctor, follow what you're good at, not what your dad thinks you are good at. Because that is your strength, that is your gift, that is what you can do to double your efforts. So you should own your own life, be proud of your story, and be willing to share your story while being honest and being truthful. Those are good qualities of success. Be honest to yourself. Like, look, the point is that nobody is better in all ways. They might be better than you in this area. You are better than them in the other area. So just be honest and be proud of your story. Number 2, believe in yourself and have a sense of direction. My dad told me or taught me to work hard to attain my own self-independence, my own self-esteem and self-determination in life. But he also taught me to be humble and be patient and be considerate of other people's need. I recall when I completed University of The Gambia 2000, having a university degree, I thought that I should have been employed immediately. And I called him like, Dad, there is no employment opportunity in this country, that and that. And he said, Famara, you need to be patient. Having a university degree doesn't mean that you will be employed immediately. If you can volunteer to do something, he said, go ahead. If you can bring kids together, teach them, have a study class with, your people in your neighborhood, do so. Just volunteer to do something before, you have a gainful employment. So to you, the graduates, these recently graduates from the University of the Gambia, I do not expect that you will all get a meaningful or a gainful employment in the country right now. So I ask that where you can volunteer, where you can serve the nation, do so even without the monthly salary coming in. If you can intern with organizations, and I also encourage organizations in the country to open internship opportunities, put it on the newspapers. Let's create opportunities for young people. It doesn't have to be salary, a paid job. Internships that are usually unpaid. Let these individuals come and basically do what? They serve you or serve the organization. Usually you don't even give them much, but they get the internal satisfaction, the gratification, the self-satisfaction from serving for the country. But it's very sad sometimes that even young people want to volunteer. They want to intern with organizations. We don't open the window. We don't open the opportunity for them to do so. In this country, America, I see a lot of internship opportunities. Some of them are even paid internships, but I also see it unpaid, a lot of them unpaid internships, and people just go and volunteer and serve the community. But if they don't create, if you don't have an internship, if you don't have an organization to intern with, you don't need an appointment letter to join a non-profit organization, to join an NGO, to create a local organization, to promote, health issues, health and hygiene issues, to promote, quality, the importance of quality education, even to, support the kids that are around you, like I said. But part of the success, the principles of success, Nelson Mandela is one of my heroes, and he said, he taught us to what? To have a stand in life, have a position, and be willing to die for the cause you believe in if need be. Yes. Die there doesn't necessarily mean physically die, but it means that you continue to struggle for a cause that you believe in. You will have people who doubt your capability, but don't listen to those that are labeling you. Be wary of things that people are saying about you, but have a sense of direction and focus. If those people are so much destructive and they are trying to undermine your progress, demand respect. Nelson said, sometimes we need to demand respect, if need be, from others who disrespect us. One of my heroes is Martin Luther King Jr. Martin Luther King taught you and I to have a deep belief in what? Ourself, our dignity, our worth, and our own somebodyness, he said. Always believe that you count, that you are a significant human being. He taught us to fight for ourselves. Whatever you believe, just fight for yourself. That as Gambians, as a youth, as a family member, nobody is probably coming to feed your family for you. Nobody is probably government is not probably coming with a social program where they can help your mother and your father. Nobody can do it for us. Let us do the struggle. No matter where you are, it doesn't mean that you're in the country. This video is not for those in the country, but every Gambian youth living in any part of the country. No matter how hard the struggle becomes, you should keep moving. In the words of Martin Luther King, he said, if you cannot fly, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you cannot walk, crawl. But whatever the case is, just keep moving. Keep moving. So inspirational to me. Whatever the case is, just continue moving. And another element of success is to do whatever you do it. And do it well and do it now. These mentors inspired me to, have this stand, to stand for something and have a purpose. Like I said, have a dream and design a strategy to achieve those dreams. But be determined, I repeat, be determined to achieve excellence in whatever you do. Whether it is study, whether you work as a civil servant, or whether you are volunteering, do it well and do it better. Don't do it for the sake of doing it. And we should avoid procrastination. And we should take personal responsibility. I've said this and I want to emphasize it. Let's take personal responsibilities of our own lives and be accountable to our own selves first before we demand others to be responsive to our needs. That is a moral responsibility. That is a moral obligation of every Gambian youth to be responsible and responsive to your own needs and to those needs of your family and to the nation at large. If we recognize this moral responsibility and this moral obligation, in the words of Steve Jobs, we will not live a limited life. Instead, we will be able to build something unique. We will be able to change a system that is ineffective to work better and work with a team. Sometimes this requires you to work with other people. You cannot do it alone. No man is an island, we say. Another principle of success is to identify your personal strengths and capabilities, your gifts. A lot of the people that I consider as heroes taught me to identify what are my gifts. Remember the words of the famous Amadou Camara. He said, every human being is born with certain potential capabilities. We'll repeat that we all have we all have certain capabilities in life. And that we only need the enabling environment to maximize and optimize those capabilities. And in America here, Steve Harvey is one person, is a comedian who also says that your gift in life is whatever you can do in the most cost-effective and efficient manner. Whatever that is, you can do in the most cost-effective manner. Because sometimes it's very difficult for us to understand. What am I good at? Well, anything you can do faster and better, and that is a gift. And he encourages us to multiply our efforts while we try to do anything that we found ourselves to be doing. You just multiply, keep on multiplying. The small things that we do can transform lives and have lasting impacts on the lives of other people. No matter what you do, no matter what you get involved, don't always get involved, Steve reminded us, for money. But be involved because you care. Be involved in something because you are passionate about it, because you think it will have a meaningful impact on your life or on the lives of other people. And it is important as young people to understand that we need to embrace failure and be optimistic of life. I'm taught to believe in those things, that failure is okay to fail for the first time. Then you can learn from the lessons. If you fail your grade 12 exam, I encourage you to go and resit. That is what is expected. When you do it again, you do it better and you know it better. Success, they always say, is not a straight line. Therefore, my fellow Gambian brothers and sisters, wherever you may be, and whatever you may do in this world, I encourage you to believe in yourself, believe in your destiny, and you be faithful that no condition is permanent, that life is a struggle. Even for the wealthiest families in the world, life continues to be a struggle until the day you leave this world. Be honest and be proud of yourself. Be confident. Always have the positive energy. Be optimistic about life. Stop being a pessimist. Avoid unhealthy and unnecessary jealousy. It doesn't take our society to any level. People inspire me and I'm like, oh, wow, I wish I can get to that level. But I don't hate them. Let us love one another. Let us keep encouraging one another. Let us support one another, support our brothers and sisters on a daily basis. Some of the things that you might think that, oh, is not necessary, it can be life-changing. Some of the stories that you think, are just to show off yourself. No, it's not. It is a story that someone will be reminded. It's a story that can keep someone moving. Finally, I want to close this segment of our conversation with the famous statement of Dr. Martin Luther King. He said, don't allow anybody to make you feel you are nobody. Don't allow anybody to make you feel you're nobody. You matter. And you count. And you are significant. And you should remind yourself, look into the mirror, look at yourself, and tell yourself that you are significant and that you count every morning before you leave for whatever you do. On that note, I thank you all, Gambian brothers and sisters. I owe gratitude to a lot of people that I cannot mention all the names here. My family, my community, Genieri, very significant friends of mine, mentors of mine, brothers of mine, sisters of mine. I want to thank all of you for the support, the encouragement that you have given me, and I still need you in my life. I still need all of you. My family, I need you. I need my friends. I need everybody to keep encouraging me and to encouraging, let's keep encouraging one another. That's what we know as people, as society. There is no need to create enmity or to create unnecessary jealousy among ourselves. We are all people. We are one people as Gambians. So finally, Jimmy, this is the last segment that I thought I wanted to share with you. It is perhaps longer than the conversation we had, but I just perhaps don't have any assignment to do this evening, and I just wanted to share this story. I hope that it touches one or two people's life, and it's okay if I get criticisms from other people, because constructive criticisms will keep me moving. And I know that I'm not perfect, but I am humble and I am appreciative of the level that I am, and I look forward to improving my weaknesses. So to all my Facebook friends, Gambians and non-Gambians, thank you for taking time to watch this video. Once again, this is your friend, your loved one, NFamara K Dampha. Bye-bye.